So, you just come down like a little Coprolalia. We're gonna give you a good show. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come down. We're gonna get all around. And you're here to be part of it. Oh, we had ourselves a little problem just there, but we're gonna jump into it now.
Just a technical problem.
Yeah, technical problem. The horse that controls my microphone, he just died. We got a new one. So anyway, this is Coprolalia, the podcast that says absolutely. I'm right. Giles is also here.
Yep.
And Lachie Barber is also here.
Yes.
I am here.
Look at him.
Forgetting the duties as hosts.
Jesus. Lachie Barber's a good old matey. That's all
I
I've
feel
got
like
for
the
him.
old matey.
I'm gonna turn this music down on my end because it's fucking loud. I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Do I need to turn it down on my end? It seems to be alright.
Alright. How are you guys to start with?
Really well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm a little hungover, but
Okay.
apart from that, I'm really good.
What was your poison last night, right?
Let me see. We started with an Aperol Spritz
Oh, yes.
because I'm a fancy boy,
Yeah.
and then we moved on to beer. I had a Shed Shaker IPA, repping the hometown.
Where'd you get that?
Man, it's all around Melbourne. Shed
wow.
Shaker from Castlemaine is making it big in the big city.
It's shaking sheds in the city.
What few sheds there are in the city have thoroughly been shaken by Shed Shaker. And this is good beer, actually. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't like his first stuff, but his new IPAs and stuff like that I
was
quite
sucker for
enjoy.
The IPAs.
Mm-hmm. It's flavor country, tell you
Flavor
that.
country indeed.
And then I moved on to some cocktails. I had something with Aperol, I think, again, actually. Took it back
Aperol.
down to-
What's that? Is that like a orange
orange
flavored liqueur
liqueur.
or something?
Yeah. It's kind of like
Bitter
orange bitters in a way, but like not as it's very much like bitters actually, yeah, but not as
How did that feel?
not as intense. Yes.
So, I had a housewarming on the weekend because I've just now moved into Bendigo. Yeah, and my poison was Gordon's gin and tonic
An excellent choice.
with a hint of lemon. That's what they look like now. That's what this-
Yes.
And I think like best extra stout, Cooper's best extra stout.
Sounds good.
I enjoy it a lot. Those
Do you-
there were the bottles that are super big.
Yeah.
Do you know the ones, the big long necks?
Oh yeah.
And that makes it even better. Just a stout in a fucking big bottle.
Get yourself a couple of long boys. You got yourself a night. Don't you love? Don't you love booze that is just good at any price level? Like cheap vodka is pretty nasty, generally speaking. Cheap white wine's pretty fucking nasty.
It's pretty
But cheap-
horrible.
Yeah,
And affordable.
it's. I mean, affordable, I guess, but then like you have a bad time.
Yeah.
So
Can you really afford
So what
that
was,
space?
what was the real price?
yeah, exactly. I've had many a night on the white wine.
On
You
the,
know you're gonna have a good day, a good time when it comes in a bladder. I like my booze to come in a bladder with a tap on it. That means you're gonna have time. But gin is generally pretty good, even at most price points. Like there's some horrendous, really cheap ones at like in Australia, like I don't know, around the $28 mark. But if you're heading up there to $30, the big old 3.0, you know it's gonna be all right. Stick a wedge of eagle in there, wedge tail eagle, and you got yourself a fancy drink.
Are you trying to fit an eagle into a goon bag? Is that what you're saying?
Didn't try, fucking did it.
We just cracked some gin and tonics, so that's
Poor man's quarters.
yeah,
UDL.
UDL.
Well, drink up, boys.
Alright. Yes, Daddy.
I fucking hate that. Giles bloody changed it so my Google Home Mini calls me Daddy, and I'm not a big fan of that.
I thought it was just me they called it called Daddy.
It calls everybody Daddy now.
Oh.
It's a bloody. No, I was gonna say slut, but I won't.
This is really tasty though.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah. UDL.
You Gordos? Oh,
no,
you
nah,
Oodles.
UDLs, not Gordos.
The poor
Yeah,
man's
Uddles.
orders.
Yeah. Gordos is what we wanted, they didn't have it.
Like, you mean, are you talking like those Gordo cans?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
premix cans, yeah.
Ah, I've never had a Gordo can.
I recommend them.
The first time I tried a Gordo's can was when I started work at the pub about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
It was
We're
horrible.
just gonna stop at 4.
Horrible.
Started work at
horrible.
4 today. First time. Straight on to the Gordos.
Yes. Anyway, no, I remember it tasting like sweet, but
Yeah.
somehow it's found its way into my
Vernacular.
yeah.
Actually, that's not a good word, I think. Vernacular. I think it's like vocabulary. It's worked its way into your repertoire, at least.
yeah.
Some booze is nice. Like, everyone wants to have their shitty booze. I've got my shitty red wine, and I quite like it.
It's yeah. I don't think anyone can really decide on what a good alcohol is. You know what I mean? It seems like the jury's out on literally everything.
Yeah.
Either you like a really obscure whiskey or wine that no one else has ever had, or you just go, I like this one, and then someone else goes, nah, that's shit.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Well-
and there you go. That's the discussion on alcohol in like.
Do you reckon it's probably because, like, maybe at least 50% of people who drink alcohol don't enjoy alcohol in any fucking shape or form? And then so we're all just trying to figure out, I don't know, it's all make-believe. It's like coffee, same kind of thing. Like, people who aren't concentrating, they're like, oh, I would only drink this blend from this cafe. I'm like, no one fucking knows that much. No one's that specific about anything. And especially if you're knocking back your fucking 6th goon bag for the night, it doesn't matter.
No. Yeah.
But also,
I've
like, it's
been
also a
there.
cultural
I've been
thing.
there.
Like, a lot of people just drink certain beers because that's what they drink. That's what their pappy drunk, and that's what their grandpappy drunk. That's what their boys at the pub drink, and that's
Oh,
what their
yeah.
little dog drinks.
I guess it's similar with cigarettes and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because cigarettes are just like garbage.
I only smoke PJ Blues. Only PJ
We
Blues.
don't smoke PJs, so we smoke PJs.
It's like Peter Stubbs. Fuck's that. You probably know what's cool as Peter Jackson. What are these people?
Well, Peter Jackson directed the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, but I don't think the
It
cigarettes are
wasn't
named
the-
after.
it wasn't-
That's not his brand of cigarette. PJs.
No, I was gonna make a joke about being in a pipe, but couldn't think of anything.
I know that in the Lord of the Rings universe, they just like they accept. I don't know if they smoke marijuana in Lord of the Rings, but you can quite clearly see Gandalf. Yeah, Gandalf and Bilbo like to share a pipe of the finest weed in the Shire. That's what
Yeah.
that's what Gandalf said.
It's definitely it seems like quite a classy thing. I mean, like rolling a couple of durries, not so good. Not
so
a good
much,
look.
but a pipe.
A pipe
Gandalf
of
pipe,
the
yeah.
finest tobaccos.
Yeah.
That's yum. I've never smoked good anything, so I wouldn't know. Everything that I have inhaled that has been on fire has
It's been a
tasted
liquid.
quite awful.
Fair enough.
I went. Sorry, I had a little throat goblin. That's not mine. That's what's that? That's dynamic banter. That's Steve Zergo's.
All right.
Little throat goblins.
A throbbing.
But yeah, when I was in Armadale, old swanky town, I went and checked out a cigar shop just because I was walking past it, and they had like poker sets and pool cues and shit like that. You know, just your fancy man's general store.
Yeah.
And so we walked in, and we had a little look around. There was a lot of fancy like hip flasks and wallets and shit like that. And we're like, oh, this is pretty cool. But behind this big glass door and window panes and stuff like that, it was in this locked section had just like this beautiful display of cigars, like in like this big semicircle array around the room.
Cigars I've never like understood, but I get it. I think I get it.
Yeah. It's like fine wines or fucking whatever. Like,
well, but
I'm
it's
sure
less so because you're not meant to inhale cigars. You're just meant to let it waft in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's almost like I want to put a big thick thing in my mouth, and then I'm going to show off my wealth to people with how big it is, and
How expensive.
and how much of my mouth it takes up. And
I think there's a little more to it. But if you want to boil it down.
Look, sucking on a cigar. I went out to serve a bowl of chips to this man out in the beer garden, and he was scoffing down a cigar, and I asked him about it because I never see. You know, it's not something that's too commonplace.
Cutting it up with a knife and fork. And just
scoffing it down. And I asked him a small question. Actually, Giles, I'm about to ask you a question. Do you have a lighter?
Yeah, I'll go get a lighter while you tell the story.
Alright, so I stand there and I say, "Oh, that's pretty alright, I guess. Like, I don't see cigars that often." And then he went on to tell me about different brands that you could get and how long the burn time was. So maybe burn time's a factor. He said 45 minutes. You get
45 minutes?
minutes out of this cigar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I can dig that.
Yeah.
I get the consumption aspect of it. Like, I don't like... I've never enjoyed a cigarette, but I love the idea of just sitting at a desk doing some, I don't know, some drawing or some writing or even just watching a bit of YouTube and just having a cigarette burning your fingers. That's lovely.
Yeah.
It's like having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whiskey or whatever, or beer, except that if I just keep sipping on those, then I'm either going to get really hyper from the coffee or I'm going to get really drunk from the beer. So having a couple of ciggies, you'd be alright. But you can still get to consume something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, like the consumption interaction. And the occupation of senses.
I mean, that's what they say if you want to quit, is you have to occupy that sense with something else. That's why people chew gum or I don't know what else other people do, but yeah, they'll figure something else out. Or there's even like people say like, oh, you can just have a pencil in your fingers or something like that and just like chew on the end of a pencil as if you were smoking, but you're not actually smoking. I do that all the fucking time when I'm sitting at my desk. I've always got a pencil in my fingers that I'm chewing on. But I then realize I'm doing it like, oh.
Did you start doing that at school?
Chewing on pencils?
Yeah.
No, I only do it with my pencil. Because I know it's mine, and I know where it's
4:20 on the dot, so we're gonna have to, we'll get, I'll let you see the sound effects, so, right, I'll flick it open. Bam. That didn't work.
It's a big lighter.
There we go. There we go. Lucky's.
Oh, they're burning up.
Yeah.
You know what this really calls for? 420, son! I fucked it up.
That sounded excellent, though.
420! There we go.
Happy meme sound.
Hang on, let me... Come on. Nah, it's not doing what I wanted to do. Oh, there you go.
I can't control it.
Have you got laugh tracks this time as well? Dude, you have to... I don't know if we are allowed to just talk about another week's podcast during this week's podcast, but last week's was chaos. But,
fucking madness.
Excellent.
It was the making of greatness. Something's in the works there. For sure.
Wow. Wow.
Was there an event or an occasion last night?
No. Just went out. Just need to get out of the goddamn. I hadn't left the house in 2 days.
Really? I think I'm good at doing that as well.
I just was drawing the entire time, which was good. Like I got
excellent.
a lot of work done, and I'm pretty ahead of my stuff.
Wow.
But
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of never mind. Yeah. It's not an interesting podcast story. But yeah, so I didn't leave my house for 2 days basically straight. So needed to get out. Went out. It was a weird interaction though, because it was just me, Nikki, and Sam, our housemate, and he was super hungover. He had just been at Meredith, and he was just joking around with Sam about getting back on Tinder and stuff like that. So we just spent like 3-4 hours out at a bar eating and drinking, but just all three of us were on our individual Tinder accounts and just fucking out. Yes.
Is that fun? I've messed around with Tinder. I messed around with Tinder, and this one night I got 3 matches. It was also the same night that Joel's girlfriend at the time was having this intense peanut allergy reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So we were helping her get into the car and get to the hospital, and while we were in the waiting room, she was sent inside. I was just having this great time the whole time on my phone talking to 3 different girls, and she was just like swelling up to the point where she couldn't breathe and just having this fucking terrible time.
Romantic.
I was...
Love was in the air.
yeah. It was, something was in the air that just really made it all...
Yeah.
swell.
In answer to your question, no. I definitely found it somewhat desensitizing. Like now, after the first initial excitement, I'm just like, just swippity swipe and.
Oh, Tinder. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't really see anything actually coming from it. So.
Yeah. I don't know if something works out, it could be a bit of fun, but it's just I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a shit show. There's a lot of fake accounts and a lot of people just having a laugh. So I don't know.
Yeah. So, however,
I get it.
It does work for some people.
Yeah, it works for some people. I also got another one called Bumble, which might be better. I don't know. Bumble. Yeah, you create your hive. That one's interesting because you're looking for dating as well as best friends, and you can, or whatever friends, and you can set it to be either or. So people who are looking to hook up will have their own section. People who are just looking to meet up with people will have their own section. So
yeah. Some people do actually write in their bios on Tinder, like, just looking for someone to hang out with.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things that I guess our society is just so... Like, it's just accepted that everyone should be kind of doing everything the same way. Like, oh, you don't have any friends? Oh, well, you just go out to a bar and just meet people. Or just go to a party and just meet people. Or just go to a club, find out something that you're interested in. Oh, you like board games? Go to a board game club and just meet people there.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that doesn't work. I definitely can't just walk up to people and start talking to them. I have to have an introduction, or especially a one-on-one. I find it really difficult with multiple people interacting at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
so
I feel that. I feel that. I reckon, and some people require quite niche things in common, and like it's really hard to find people who say, how many people would you meet that would have the same love for the Imperial Guard,
Country
or something
bears.
like that? Country bears, yeah, that's good.
Country bears is actually one of my photos on Tinder. So far, 0 matches.
But
I know that when I do get a match, they're going to be amazing.
But you can just go to the Country Bears subreddit, if there is a Country Bears subreddit.
There's absolutely a Country Bears subreddit. Let me track her down. It's a bit of fun.
And now you've got all your friends right there.
You know what? You fucking might be right. Country bears. There's
But
bears
from-
doing human things. The bear essentials. Oh, the bear essentials. It might be. Oh no, it's not. Bears with beaks. It's a whole thing.
There's with beaks.
All right, let's dive on in here. So we got bears doing human things. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I've got a couple of bears French kissing. Wait, this is Pornhub here, man.
Oh, are they eating each other's faces in reality? Or?
Actually, okay. Here's a little side note, little bit of no, like a thing I found out yesterday.
Yeah.
I was researching kawaii culture in Japan because I was quite interested by Gutitama. I think that's the fucking name of it. Gutitama. Oh no, it's a yeah.
Sounds like one of the Buddha's
So it's a
names,
depressed egg yolk, and it's a character by the Hello Kitty company, or the company that made Hello Kitty. So it's another character of theirs, and it's just a depressed egg that gets cracked into a pan and it's like, no, I'm gonna be lazy. I don't want to do anything today. That is the extent of the character.
So it only lives for.
I was quite intrigued by it, and it's very popular in Japan.
It must only live for like.
And
10
apparently, it's like
seconds
kind of like a
before it's
response
fried.
to the high octane, high stress culture in Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude,
You there,
we're
boys?
very stressed out culture.
I can't bloody hear a thing. I'm just gonna keep talking about Japanese culture
Can you not hear
until.
me? Ooh. There was some slight internet issues.
And this led me down to the path of finding the dark side of kawaii culture.
Now it's working.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Kind of response to the ultra cute aspect of kawaii, which is the cute culture in Japan. And these ones and these characters, these dark kawaii ones, I can't remember what they're actually called, but cute characters that have a real dark side. So one was a bear that hangs out with these kids and attacks these kids. And it's really interesting and really kind of strange. Yes, but unfortunately I can't hear a bloody thing.
I might have
from you
to.
guys, so this is kind of hard to keep a.
There we go.
Are we back there, boys?
Can you hear me now?
Still don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
All right. Instead, I will jump down into this subreddit that I brought up, which is bears with beak. It is photoshopped bears.
Can you hear me now?
It's actually just fucking bears photoshopped to have bird beaks on.
So the listeners of the
Pretty bloody
recording,
amazing. I don't know how to keep a podcast going by myself.
Yeah.
and Rye, but Rye can't hear me.
Let me try.
This is for the listeners. I'm going to close Discord, so Rye's going to disappear for a moment.
Hello. The miracle of technology. How to derail a podcast in 20 seconds. Got a bear here with a beetle face.
Fuck. So how you doing, Lachie?
Yeah, pretty good.
And
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm comfy. I'm a comfy boy.
And we're back.
Is part 2.
Part 2. We had some issues. I'm not actually sure where I'm going to cut off, where the issue started and ended. So welcome back.
I tried to keep it going for a little bit while you were gone.
I liked Lachie and I enjoyed what you were doing. So
Alright,
technically, the audience will still receive us and you, just not together.
But it's our energy together that they're here for.
Yes. And the ability to communicate is partly what they're here for, so yes.
Where did I leave off?
Country bears and Tinder.
Did you hear me talking about what was I talking about? Did you hear me talking about?
Oh yes, the cracked egg character in Japan.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment on how that character must only live for about 30 seconds or something before he's fried.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to get eaten. Like there's a human character talking to him throughout most of it, and he's like cooking him up. It's really strange to me. But got me thinking because I'm pretty harsh I'm pretty critical lately of like of cartoons that just talk about like, oh, I can't even handle right now, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But seeing this egg and looking more into the Japanese culture side of cartoons like that, because over there it's a franchise. They don't these ones that I'm talking about, like the Hello Kitty thing, isn't just like it's not just like a strip. It's not a cartoon strip or an Instagram feed. It's like it's everything. You can buy fucking anything. There's Hello Kitty wine. There's Hello Kitty planes. There's Hello Kitty backpacks and pencil cases.
Sort of sits in a bad place for me. Like I don't think they should use children's branding on adult things.
It's actually a pretty good point, perhaps.
Truck drivers and things like that have like real fancy trucks in Japan. Like,
yeah.
Do things like considered kawaii.
Yeah.
Like it's a
kawaii culture.
Everyone loves cute,
I'm losing you guys a little bit again.
What about now?
Yeah, just every couple of words there's a little bit of a drop. But let's just soldier on through.
Excellent.
But yeah, so I guess it was just in a response to as I said before, I don't know if you guys caught it, but yeah, the egg being lazy was a response to the high stress level of Japanese society.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the same for us here. I guess it's like though. I like that. I like that aspect of it, and I think it's really important to have those kind of aspects in our media. Those elements that are just there to relieve the stress and kind of fix the shortcomings of society. I guess is the kind of the point.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of the role of comedians and entertainers in general.
I guess it's like at the same time though, like if we can identify that we need little cartoon eggs in order just to get through our day.
Yeah, some people need a Garfield, man.
It's probably, yeah.
Like some people, because it's about a lonely man. It's about like a man who he humanizes his cat, and his cat, I don't know, dehumanizes him, I guess. But yeah, I think some people love that character and relate to it, and they enjoy seeing that on the weekend or in the morning newspaper or wherever they got him.
I guess it's just kind of deciding where if it's kind of releasing some tension for you, as if like, so if you're really stressed out and you see this little egg be all lazy and then you go, I can be lazy too. It's okay because I've seen an egg do it.
Yeah.
Or for some people it also could possibly validate self-destructive behavior. I think that's actually a key because I've brought this up before, and I've always said something like, it's validating shitty behavior or stuff like that in people. But I think that's maybe a key definition that I should have made back then. And this is the whole bloody point of this show: is we update our bloody views.
Yeah.
But perhaps it's validating a self-destructive nature, and the self-destructive nature can be decided by whoever's doing it. Like one thing might be self-destructive to someone while not self-destructive to somebody else.
It's a good idea to psychoanalyze the show that we're doing. I think that's a good idea. I reckon in everybody there's a destructive desire. And some people see it as more noble to turn that destructive power on themselves. You know what I mean? Because like they're their property to destroy, so it's like they're not infringing on others if they're destroying themselves.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, that self-destructive person becomes more destructive for others. So it's like you still end up stepping on other people's toes.
You're still an influence to the people around you.
I do have something actually relevant to this. Did you read about Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age?
No.
He kicked her a photographer in the face at one of his concerts.
No shit. Was this
And-
recently?
Yeah, this was the last concert he did, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and he also cut his forehead so he bled all over his face. And I
Wait.
thought to myself,
Josh Homme cut his own face.
yeah, deliberately,
Right.
so he'd bleed like a lot, and then
Yeah.
because it was rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, some people were going to that show, letting out their destructive anger, but maybe vicariously through Josh Homme doing his shit. But he like broke a camera and sent a girl to the ER, so like he's not successfully being a destructive catharsis for others.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. I guess it comes down to like if you're. I don't know, like we want our role models. We want to kind of hold them to a certain degree of.
You like Josh Homme?
Yeah, for sure. I used to listen to Queens of Stone Age all the bloody time.
Yeah, I've given them some time.
Like you want to hold our idols accountable for their actions and their influence on other people, but then at the same time they're also just people, and if they fuck up, then like, who gives a shit like that?
Well,
I mean,
I think he
it's not
makes
who
a
gives a
career
shit.
out of fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to be the kind of musician who gets fucked up drunk on stage, and breaks shit and kicks over lighting and
Yeah.
you know, smashes a guitar maybe here and there.
I guess that's good.
Yeah, go on.
Same with the lazy egg. Josh Homme and the lazy egg are one and the same. I don't know. It's I guess it's totally up to the person watching it, to the people enjoying the content and deciding what they want to do with it. And if they were going to be self-destructive based on someone else's influence, then they were probably going to find that elsewhere anyway.
Yeah, you're right. I honestly believe everyone just ends up finding some sort of thing they can't defeat, and then they calm right down. At least kids, like youths.
Mm-hmm.
They have to find a wall or something that they hit that they just can't break, and then I guess that becomes their discipline or something. Imagine like a director like James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he releases a bunch of movies in a row that are just this huge success, and he just he's just doing coke or something at the red carpet premiere of his $1 billion movie or something.
Yeah.
There'd still be a wall he hits where he just goes, all right, like I've done the best I can, or something.
Yeah. It's like freedom drives a person insane, and you need to bring something to bring them back down to reality to kind of show that they're not invincible.
Yeah. They need to be humbled in some way.
All right,
So maybe his next
bit-
release is a total flop, and then he's like, okay, when I was doing the thing that worked, I didn't actually know what it was. I thought I knew what it was. So I thought I knew everything, and it turns out I was wrong.
Do you think it's just a curse of humanity that like we can't possibly understand what we've got until it's gone?
I think that's the curse of time.
Mm.
And yeah, you can't get rid of it. And you shouldn't. You should learn that time actually will always, eventually, make a fool of you.
This is perhaps a more touchy example, but perhaps it's like the idea that if one's in poverty,
Oh yeah.
then basically their entire life is walls and limitations.
Right. Yeah. People in poverty do actually become humbled immediately, and they probably. I mean, if a poor person who's been poor most of their life becomes rich, he doesn't just then go out and buy a bunch of cigars. I think they live a humble life. Like they share their money with their friends, and then they live in a modest house, not like a mansion on a hill or something. Like it takes a type of It takes the Donald Trumps to think that they can actually get to president.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be humbled by his experience as president in some way. There's no way he's going to be the same. I'd get fucked up by that experience.
It's an interesting thing to like once you. I guess that's a good kind of example because the idea that power corrupts. So as you get more and more wealthy, that's giving you a shitload more power. Obviously, wealth is basically the ultimate power in the society and human culture. And so as you gain more and more money, it seems like the logical goal for most people who get to that stage is just to try and obtain as much power as possible. Like they can only go up. When in reality, like I prefer the idea that like once you've got money, then it's more just like now you get to chill the fuck out. Now you get to just be a hedonist or fucking whatever, you know, just enjoy your life.
Understand better than baby boomers.
Yeah, actually, that like when we get money, we go and have some fucking avocado on toast.
Yeah, we'll have a nice breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking nice breakfast over a house any goddamn day.
Yeah, you remember after the big review show, I think it was either the second or first one, there was like a little bit of money left over for us, and we just went out and we bought expensive breakfasts.
Yeah. That was great, and it felt like such a celebration, such a like it was the perfect end to all of it. It was perfectly cathartic in that respect.
I think I had the squid or something. It was like a. I think it was easily the most expensive like lunch item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess then that was in relation to a lot of other people. Like that is not a huge amount of money, so perhaps things would change as we gain more and more money. So
you mean once we have the money to take a limousine out on the town, we'll do that.
We'll just do that, yeah. And then we'll keep working up. We're like, well, why don't we have 2 limousines, and why don't we put strippers inside?
Yeah, we'll swap the podcast format up a little bit and make it
start our own CNN.
We're on the back of a Lamborghini, right? We'll do the podcast from on the roof of a Lamborghini that's like.
And we'll review Rolex watches.
Yeah. It'll all be filmed instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from helicopters, we'll have several camera helicopters. and we'll go off a jump in the Lamborghini, but we'll have parachutes on, so we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And
you
could go.
We'll pretty much.
Off the jump into a plane that's flying past.
We'll instantly lose all of our small dedicated followers.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this bullshit? We can't
and
relate.
Somehow we got rich off just those small amount of people.
Have you guys lost music, or is it just me?
It seems to have given up.
Let's get some more tunes going.
Do you know how to do it?
Nah.
I'll do it. Alright, I'll do it.
Fine. I might have a blast with this thing.
I guess I mean, as an example from my own life, obviously, super fucking breezy. Like, all I have to do is wake up and just life is just presented to me on a silver platter. I have to go to work, that's about the only thing in my life that is bad in any which way. And yet, amongst all that privilege, I still find lots of little things to be shitty at. And just the fact that just the fact that I have to go to work and I don't get to make money off my art is enough to drive me insane. Which is ridiculous, because just having the time to make art in any way is actually a privilege for a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't blame just the that weight on you, the art not working. there's way more. There's this whole burden of the fact that you have to be a human being. That's it's resting on your subconscious now. I guess that you don't consciously struggle with it. It doesn't mean that your brain doesn't subconsciously struggle with it.
Mm.
So you're still carrying a huge weight on your shoulders just by being alive.
So I guess then it's so we're all doomed to find those little things in our lives that we can't control. I guess as soon as
They're
we find
already
those
there.
walls,
It's just you just need to realize that they are there. That can sometimes help, I think.
yeah. Well, I have wondered, like, if I then did start making money off my art, and I didn't have to go to work anymore,
Yeah.
would I would probably still find other reasons. Like, perhaps I would hold it to a higher standard, and I would just get more depressed if I didn't meet certain goals and things like that with my art, and my mood would actually not change in any way. I don't know. No idea, but you know.
That would still be a self-imposed sort of suffering that you would take on.
Yeah, I guess that would be more in my control.
Yeah. I mean, there'd be some sort of mother or father character that comes to you in your head that might be like, "Oh, damn! You probably should have excelled more by now," or something.
I guess also, I guess there's just the feeling of lack of control. Perhaps is a side effect of modern convenience, because everything feels so disconnected. So like, you might go to a job and you earn your money and that's what feeds you, but it's hard to kind of tell your mind to think of it in that way. You're not thinking about the food that you're going to buy later when you're working and think like, this is how I'm going to eat today. It's hard to think of that while you're actually on the job, you know?
Yeah,
because they're disconnected. Same thing with like people getting shitty with government taxing them and their goods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you don't think about the government while you're walking down the clean street that's well kept, or riding on your public transport that's supported by the government. You know.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep those things in mind.
Well, you mean remembering to be grateful?
Yeah.
I read this inlay, this little booklet that was in the Father John Misty vinyl for pure comedy. This little story, and about halfway, he likes to ramble a whole lot when he writes, but about halfway he introduces the concept that humans could have been eaten by bears, and we should be grateful for the fact that we aren't being killed by bears or eaten by bears. and he goes on to say, if we were to think about this at least once a day, we might achieve happiness.
I can dig on that. That's a good idea.
At least once a day, think to yourself, well, I'm not being mauled to death by a bear.
Yeah. Sorry, that was actually the wrong button. The cutoff's even funnier. Well, I was thinking about that actually. I was thinking about it's like a new cartoon series of just of this little guy that just is always always looks on the bright side, always optimistic. It's just very easy to. This is not new. This is nothing. I'm not being particularly like I don't know. This is something we all talk about and all think about. But yeah, it's just so much easier to just think about all the little tiny shitty things. Not that I'm repping for the government or anything like that. Like not that everything is fucking dandy, but things are probably a lot better than this thing.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I reckon people find it very easy to criticize the way things are now, and to criticize themselves and to just be cynical all the time. And that it is harder to be idealistic. I do think that's true. and that there are a lot of things that we aren't appreciative of that we could be, and we could even be helping, but we aren't because we don't know they're there. I reckon if, as a job seeker, if the work that I was going to do was laid out in front of me, and they said you're going to be helping this part of society, or this, you're going to be helping with this system which helps these people, I'd go, okay, I'll devote time towards these things. That's okay.
Yeah.
Instead, it's more like I just don't want to do stuff that is completely meaningless to the people that are around me, and help no one. Like I would rather do nothing than actually do something that isn't helping someone.
Yeah. Actually, go somewhat of an example, because I like the idea of working. I don't hate the idea of hospitality. I actually quite enjoy working in hospitality, I think. But the aspect that I like is giving people something to enjoy. Like if it's totally, it's like they come in and they enjoy a nice cup of coffee, and if they're appreciative and if they're happy about it and they enjoy that aspect of their day, that's sick. And everything's relaxed because everything's like we're just here to give you some coffee. It's not a big deal, so everyone just chills the fuck out. Then that's amazing. However, I had a woman come in today who comes in like every day, but I forget everyone's fucking name because I serve probably around 200 to 300 people in a day. I don't know, that might even be an understatement because it's just fucking constant for 6 hours.
Yeah, right.
However, this woman came in today, and she comes in every day, but I forgot her name because, I don't know, she makes zero impact on my life, so fuck her. And I asked her, hey, how's it going? What were you after? She said, oh, just the usual, just what I always get. And then she's rummaging in her bag. Like, sorry, what was that? Yeah, just what I get every day. Sorry, one more time, I don't know what that is. Just what I normally get. It's like, sorry, I don't remember. And I had to say that to her in those words. Just, sorry, I don't remember what you normally do, or what you get. And she's fine. Really frustrated at me because I couldn't remember her fucking coffee order and her name.
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck you. There's 300 people here. What do you fucking think is... Why does it have to be like that? It's just a coffee. You should be lucky that... Okay, now I'm just getting all heated and rambling, but you see my point. It's just coffee for people, and it's lovely when it's lovely, but as soon as everyone thinks it's like, as soon as everyone raises those stakes, it makes it as if it's this huge fucking deal, giant pain in the ass.
Yeah, I remember that stuff from working, because I've done barista work, and I don't think it's totally terrible either.
Yeah.
No, if it was less stress, I think I could do it. Like, I'd enjoy doing it as well. And you probably handle the stress better than me. I'm just like I'm most like a snowflake, I guess. I just melt quite easily. I'm unique and I melt very easily.
Yeah. That's actually one thing though, is that a lot of people in hospitality, I think, like the stress, and that shits me more than anything. I would prefer to deal with 100. I would like to deal with 100 versions of that woman rather than deal with people in hospitality who just love the stress. They get off on it, and they make it hard for everybody else because they're always like, "Let's go, 125% all the fucking time." Like, dude, there's like 3 people staying in line. It's just coffee. Chill the fuck out. Yeah.
Chefs who raise their energy to some unprecedented level for some reason.
Well, I mean, huge amounts of cocaine will do that.
I've definitely come from a really calm front of house into a kitchen where it was like all guns blazing and they're just yelling, and I refused to meet them at their level of energy because I was like, I don't need to be fucking working that hard. So I was just like, oh, that's okay, take your time and just leave the kitchen so I can go back to being calm.
Yeah, I try and make a big point of it, especially to managers when they're fucking going. They're like, right, how's it go? Is the floor fine? Yeah, man, it's all good. It's always fine. I always try and put in little bits like that, just like it's always okay. There's nothing has ever happened here that we really need to stress about. So let's take a fucking second. And I think actually people like that.
Maybe something has happened, right?
And I just don't notice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a shitty employee.
Maybe
just
last
not paying attention.
last time everyone was ran off their feet, they accidentally stepped on a kid. Or they fell over onto a kid. Or
minus one kid sounds like a bonus.
they were running around with a coffee and they spilt the coffee on the kid.
That would suck.
That's the worst case scenario. My brain can
Our coffee's not that hot, so it could be fine.
No,
I need
coffee's
to
pretty
pee.
hot, aren't they?
I need to go to the toilet, like, so bad, so I'm gonna be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves, keep the conversation going.
Alright.
Tell your own stories about hospitality. I don't know. Bye.
That little laugh he did at the end was enough to get me. So, I'm just recovering from those technical difficulties. I feel it threw off my energy, it threw off my thing. But
I feel like
it's good to practice not letting that shit happen though.
yeah. I feel like that little touch was enough to get super aware of the way I feel about what I'm thinking and how I'm going to deal with it calmly, even though like the feeling might be really intense.
Yes.
And like just like a bath. Yeah.
There's a quote on the calendar in the toilet room that is when you neither reject your emotions nor act while feeling an emotion, you're in this middle space where you are free to just feel that emotion. Yeah, and it says it is times like these we get to look out at the sunset or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
It's times like that we get to look at the sky and just feel the sky or something like that. Yeah.
That's really nice.
I'm back.
Ah, you're back. We were talking about feeling the sunset.
Oh, what? What do you mean?
That when you're feeling something,
Yeah.
if you're not rejecting that feeling and you're not acting under that feeling, you're just sort of feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when you get to look at the sunset.
It's good. That's actually, well, I don't know if it's exactly what you're talking about, but it has been something that's been a very big theme on my mind of late about just letting emotions and feelings just be that, just be the thing, and not have to fuel anything, not have to drive anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's a huge, because nothing shits me more than people being overly dramatic all the fucking time.
Well, yeah, because like feeling sad doesn't mean that you need to go and do things because you're sad. Like feeling sad can be something you sit down and just experience.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm feeling sad. Better break out the something. Better break out the comfort blanket and go switch on Netflix, and then ignore the sadness.
Yeah.
Like, no, just feel sad
away
for a
from
little
it.
bit. Yeah.
Just
like-
you don't have to sorry, just as I said, it doesn't have to fuel further action or anything like that.
Yeah. Except crying.
And like you can channel that into, you can like transmute, channel it into something else. Well, you know, I guess that's creating things because you want to do something because of how you feel.
Yeah, I create things by transmuting feelings, I would say.
Yeah, you actually get it's the the joy of being human or being conscious is you get to choose what you actually do with these things.
Yeah.
And we've
Well,
touched on
that
this
suggests
before. Like,
free will.
yes, well, I would like to think hopefully that we've got it. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people on the internet who think it's bullshit, but
If we didn't have it, don't you think
Fuck
we'd
'em.
come together and just go, let's begin free will?
yeah, as if like we're because we have it as a concept, it kind of exists, really, doesn't it? Like because we can identify. I think as soon as you identify your emotion, then that kind of You've just decided to. That demonstrates you have free will.
Yeah, it's an objective position on your emotions even.
I guess the people who are saying we don't have free will are arguing that what we think of as free will is fueled by deeper emotions and deeper instincts and stuff like that.
All right.
But I would argue that it's like the idea that I think, therefore I am. It's like if you have the ability to comprehend what is happening, then that does kind of give you the decision of what you can do with it. Surely. I think if you were to have no free will, then that would have to be that you actually don't have any grasp on what's fueling your actions. They just happen.
Right. So you could never claim zero free will.
Yeah, I definitely get where they're coming from.
Don't have like any. Wait, no. Some people argue that we don't have completely free will.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay.
I guess that makes sense. There's different things, there's different elements. Obviously, we still have our natural instincts and we still have our emotional reactions. But just because those things exist and have certainly a lot of power over us doesn't mean that takes away our free will. There's surely different levels of free will.
Yeah.
If people didn't have any free will at all, then this is a bit of a harsher one, or perhaps a bit of a darker one. But surely even like sexual assaults would be more common. But how often would people have a sexual desire and say, I'm not going to attack this person, or I'm not going to do anything with that. And just let that be the thing.
There's that line in the Nirvana song Lithium, I think. I'm so horny, but that's okay. My will is good. Like I'm so. Fuck. Yeah, no, that's the only line I can think of.
But it does illustrate the point.
Yeah. He was saying that he's not afraid of himself doing something bad.
Yeah.
With that feeling. I guess it is another feeling. Attraction is another feeling. Like love is another feeling.
Yeah.
It is actually probably one of the most important things of our lives to figure out how to react to those feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hellishly intensely.
It's
important.
Such a huge driving force in our society. And just in every interaction, almost probably like maybe 80% of interactions with other human beings are based on some form of attraction. If it's not like sexual, then it's also like based on survival or continuing your particular group of people, or your family or whatever.
I'm sort of now realizing that I think happiness is actually a hindered emotion within our society at the moment. Just take, for example, if you're at a pub and you're really happy, and you start addressing groups of people you don't know, the same way that someone would if they were on MDMA or something like that, just become very happy, confident, and say someone's incited a whole room to start like singing along to a song or something. That I think there's a lot of people who are really turned off by watching people go through that experience. Or like, they just go, oh, this guy needs to stop being so happy around me. Stop, like, I don't know. I think it's something that we frown upon.
Yeah.
I kind of think that feeling is like I've had that myself, like seeing somebody be so expressive and so happy and just like, completely confident and interactive, engaging, and then thought, like I've had this pang of...
Pang,
like, there's this feeling like I'm resenting that, but you go in and it's, in my case, it was because I don't allow myself to do that. I have my own feelings about being hung up on some things. Yeah. I mean, not so much now. I mean, but, we all have our things. I still have my things that I have to work through, but it's good to identify.
People dancing through the street or like dancing, say in a shopping mall or something, there's this secondhand embarrassment that everyone feels, I think.
Yeah.
And I think
Unless there's a video recording it. If there's a camera recording it, people are like, oh, he's doing a thing. But like if there's no camera, there's like this, embarrassment feeling, I think.
It's like watching cringe humor.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I couldn't really watch cringe humor. I fucking despised it.
Well, part of cringe humor is like, watching. That meme of the guy who's wearing the fedora and he says, "Today I am enlightened." No. Today I am euphoric. That's it. Today I am euphoric, not because of some phony god's blessing, but because I am enlightened by my intelligence. And that meme just like got spread like wildfire because he was wearing a fedora and everything, just like tilting his hat towards atheism and and just euphoria in general. And then euphoria became like this other word for someone who's like cringely atheist or something like that. Or like the way that shit happened around that. And that guy was obviously just trying to say a happy thing, but the backlash was a much more mocking nature.
That's people do that even with like if you see someone who's happy and religious, well, atheists will be like, well, you can't possibly be truly happy. That's actually definitely a response I've kind of thought when I see people who are happy and religious. I'm like,
I've had
surely you're denying yourself something.
I've had moments where I'm like, well, it's not real happiness.
Yeah.
It'll go.
And not just with religion, but with lots of different things. Like, if you don't subscribe to the idea of even consumerism, like, you see someone who's got the newest pair of Nikes on, and they're like, "Fucking, I'm so happy with my fucking new kicks," and you're like, "I don't think that's real. You clearly want to kill yourself inside." Maybe they are actually truly happy with that, and we're just putting our own personality onto that and saying, "Well, I wouldn't like to wear those new fresh kicks."
Yeah.
But then they would look at something that we would be doing, like recording a podcast, and they were like, "Well, that seems like a giant fucking waste of time."
I think there's a lot of people who would fit into the category of like sabotaging other people's fun, because that's their fun. Their fun is sabotaging other people's fun.
Yeah.
And so you can't really rob them of their fun without just bringing yourself down to their level. I think it is a lot of the time just ignoring that kind of person and just being happy for the hell of it.
Yeah.
No, wouldn't it depend on if like they were being harmful to the person that they were trying to?
You mean the mocking became like toxic or something?
Yeah, like if like in what context is how hard is the mock? You know, it's okay to mock.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but
just to see the humor, because there's humor everywhere.
Yeah.
It's yummy.
There's a difference between mocking something and completely like dismissing something.
Yeah. Some
and
people,
I think
right, to mock some people, you actually need to have a lot of respect for them, to like learn their character and figure out how to make fun of this person. So like sometimes there's a reverence to it, like say if you really wanted to meme on Louis C.K., so you became really good at comedy just so you could like get on his nerves or something, there'd be a reverence there, an appreciation. But yeah, sometimes there's no loss to the person. If someone makes a meme where they're trying to mock someone and they just picked the first picture on Google Images and it just happened to be this random Indian dude, and I actually know of a story that was quite similar to this actually, how this Indian guy put a picture up of him hugging his dad on Facebook, and someone made a meme out of it, but by saying that he, like the older man, was this was meant to be a 14-year-old girl that he was meeting in a park, and like they were reduced to these Indian stereotypes, and the dad was called a pedophile in the well, they were both
Yeah,
called pedophiles, I think, by the meme. And those two guys were just like, that's just me and my dad. I don't know where they got this whole story from.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mocking can sometimes just be like accidental.
Well, it's a big disconnect between a lot of people and comedy when they think that if you mock something, if you make a joke out of something, then that means you either completely discredit it or you completely normalize it, and like that's the idea of, you know, you can't joke about rape, or if you joke, you can't joke about my religion. This is my religion. It's like, just because we joke about it doesn't mean we think it has no inherent value. If it had no inherent value, it wouldn't be really worth making a joke about. Like, it wouldn't be that funny. It has to be really serious to you.
There has to be something
in order for us to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And the same with you joking about us. If you joke about the fact that we spent our entire time just bagging out other religions and shit like that, then yeah, sweet, make a joke about that, because it brings everything back down to reality. Because nothing is untouchable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As soon as it becomes touchable, as soon as it becomes a thing, it becomes touchable, I guess. Like, yeah, I don't know.
We're all just floating about in this crazy universe, and we don't know what the fuck's going on. You gotta be able to joke about it, and otherwise, it's we can't assume anything. We can't assume that anything is inherently true in this universe. So
and
to joke about it is actually to be constantly questioning everything, so you're always ready for new information. You're always ready to bring something else in.
I used to think that matter and space and everything like that was the most complicated shit, and then I realized human beings are probably more complicated than most things in existence.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even down to the science of what makes up our brains, like millions and millions of neurons or something. I don't even know which terms to use, but
we can explain how atoms are made.
Yeah, we're incredibly complex. The matter that makes us up is millions of years in the making, after a lot of trial and error. So mostly error, an error of errors. Pretty much. We've hit 40 minutes though, right? So we can wrap this up anytime.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good space to end it. A pretty good place to end it.
Yeah.
Joke about everything and you know nothing.
Yeah. Know nothing. Joke about everything.
So this has been all over the shop episode of Coprolalia, but you know,
wow.
This might.
I don't know where to put that. That's how I'm ending.
Right there. That was a good spot. Oh, here we go. Lachie's going to give us an outro of sorts.
Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful.
See you later, fellas.